Have you ever wondered if God tried to talk to you, but in the midst of the tumult of life, you could not perceive the signs? He may try to guide you by offering wisdom and direction for the problems you face. But how do you recognize these signs? In this video, we will explore 6 powerful and subtle ways through which God can communicate with you, and how to discern and understand these divine messages in your daily life. Imagine how transformative it would be to clearly understand what God is trying to tell you. Every day, God communicates with us, but it is essential to pay attention. Often, He speaks directly through His Word, prayer, or even via the circumstances or the people who cross our path. Something you need to change, or He offers you one solution for what keeps you awake. He uses methods that may seem subtle, like physical sensations, unexpected changes in circumstances, or even one night of sleep loss. But if you know how to recognize them, you can align your life with the will of God in a clearer and deeper way. God, being the Alpha and the Omega, knows the beginning and the end of everything. He sees far beyond what we can perceive. However, it often happens that we are so immersed in our routines that we fail to notice when He sends us signs. The first way God can speak to you is through changes in your circumstances. Imagine you are pursuing something, maybe one job opportunity or one relationship, but for some reason, it does not materialize. It can be frustrating at first, but have you ever thought that it could be one sign that God has something better for you? Sometimes when God closes one door, it is to protect us from something we cannot see at the time. He could be redirecting your life to one path you had not considered. When you fully trust in God, and that something you were waiting for does not come to pass, this could be the beginning of a new and better path. Maybe you regret that job opportunity that did not materialize, but what if God was preparing something much bigger? Trust the fact that He sees what you do not see. He is in charge, and often He works in silence to orchestrate the best for your life. When one unexpected opportunity arises, be open. It could be one new door that He is opening. Even if you do not understand it immediately, another sign that God is speaking to you can come from the people around you. Has it ever happened to you that someone tells you exactly what you needed to hear at the right time? It could be one friend, one family member, or even one stranger. God often uses people as instruments to give us advice, encourage us, or bring one word that resonates deep in our hearts. When you start to notice that several people point in the same direction or share similar advice, pay attention. It may not be a coincidence. It could be God using their voices to confirm something important in your life. When you hear something that speaks directly to you, take one moment to pray and ask God for discernment. He never leaves us without direction, but it is essential to stay open and sensitive to hear. Now, let's talk about one sign that may seem strange to many, but is very real: physical sensations in the body. Have you ever felt one shiver, one pressure in the chest, or one physical sensation you cannot explain? It may be that God is trying to get your attention through these sensations. He uses different ways to communicate His will, and our body can be one of His means. For example, when Moses encountered the burning bush, he saw that something supernatural was happening. This unusual vision marked the beginning of a transformative encounter with God. In the same way, those physical sensations you feel may be the way God is telling you that an important event is about to occur, or that you need to pay more attention to your surroundings. When you feel these sensations, note what happened, what you felt, and in what context. Take time to pray and ask God to help you see what this means. Maybe He is showing you that it is time to act or to wait, but above all, be attentive to these sensations and pray to understand what they mean. Another common sign that God tries to communicate with you is sleep loss. How many times have you woken up in the middle of the night without being able to fall back asleep, and you wondered why this happened. Sometimes this unexpected moment of wakefulness can be one invitation from God to spend time in prayer. He may place something in your heart, one important decision, one person to pray for, or something that requires your attention. During those moments, instead of being frustrated by not being able to sleep, use that time to seek the presence of God. Ask Him what He wants to tell you. Maybe it is one precious moment He has reserved so you can hear Him more clearly without the distractions of everyday life. On the other hand, God also communicates through one deep sense of peace. Have you ever noticed that feeling of absolute calm after praying about one decision? This inner peace is one sign that you are on the right path. It is one divine gift, one confirmation that you are aligned with God's plans. When we are in accordance with His will, this peace fills us, even when the situation around us is chaotic. But the opposite can also happen when we feel restless, uncomfortable, or confused about a decision. It may be God warning us to reconsider. So, pay attention to the absence of peace. It may be as important as feeling His presence. God guides us through our feelings to help us make wise decisions and avoid mistakes. Finally, one sign we often overlook is the repetition of messages. Have you ever heard the same word or the same advice in different contexts, like during a sermon, a conversation, or even while reading one book? When this happens repeatedly, it can be one sign that God is trying to get your attention about something specific. Maybe He wants you to focus on one area of your life, make one change, or take one decision. These messages are God's way of bringing something to light that you need to focus on or listen to. When this happens, take one moment to pray and reflect. Ask God what this means for your life and how you should respond. One clear example of this divine communication is found in the story of Moses and the burning bush. Moses was tending his flock when he saw something extraordinary, one bush that burned but was not consumed. Curious, he approached, and at that moment, God spoke to him, giving him one mission that would change the history of the Israelites. Just as Moses paid attention to this sign, we must pay attention to the signs around us. God can use circumstances, physical sensations, people, and even nature to speak to us. The important thing is to have one heart open and ready to listen and obey His voice. Recognizing God's signs is one process that requires sensitivity and discernment. If you want to deepen your connection with Him, strengthen your prayer life, meditate on His Word, and pay attention to what He may be trying to tell you. Every sign, no matter how subtle, may be one invitation to a deeper and more meaningful relationship with God. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next videos coming soon.